Have you ever met someone who seemed incredibly kind, only to later realize they were not as genuine as they appeared? In our daily lives, we interact with countless people, colleagues, friends, family members, and strangers. Many of them present themselves in a positive light, always smiling and saying the right things. But does that truly reflect who they are? In today's world, where appearances often overshadow reality, people wear different social masks. Some may act friendly out of politeness rather than sincerity. Others may appear helpful when they need something but quickly change once their needs are met. This raises an important question: how can you see someone's true character? The good news is, you don't need to be a psychologist to figure this out. There are two simple yet powerful indicators that reveal a person's genuine nature. These are not complex theories or abstract ideas, but rather everyday behaviors that often go unnoticed. Once you recognize these signs, you'll start seeing people in a new light, and even learn something about yourself along the way. So, what are these two indicators? Let's explore them in detail. Indicator 1: how a person treats those who can't return the favor. One of the most telling tests of a person's character is how they treat those who cannot offer them anything in return. It's easy to be respectful to a boss, courteous to a wealthy client, or charming to someone in power. But true integrity is revealed in the way we interact with people who hold no status: waiters, janitors, receptionists, or even strangers in need. This principle transcends cultures, societies, and historical periods. Whether in ancient kingdoms or modern democracies, both leaders and everyday individuals alike reveal their true nature through their treatment of the powerless. History offers powerful examples of how treatment of the powerless can expose a person's true character. Nelson Mandela, for instance, was known for his humility and kindness even toward those with no political or social influence. During his 27 years of imprisonment, he showed dignity to his captors, enduring brutal conditions while treating prison guards with respect. After becoming president of South Africa, Mandela continued to treat all people with the same level of regard, regardless of their race or status. His actions were not driven by strategy, but by a sincere reflection of his values, proving that leadership is about humanity, not dominance. In contrast, Steve Jobs, the visionary co-founder of Apple, was infamous for his brilliant leadership, but equally notorious for his harsh treatment of employees. He often berated subordinates, dismissed ideas with cruelty, and created a high-pressure environment where many felt undervalued. Though his genius revolutionized technology, his lack of patience for those in lower positions painted a complex picture of his character, showing that intelligence and success don't always correlate with kindness or respect. Psychologists argue that our treatment of service workers, employees, or even strangers who have no power over us reveals our true selves. Unlike formal interactions where social norms dictate politeness, the way we treat those with no influence is largely unfiltered and reflective of our core values. Imagine two contrasting situations. In the first, a group of friends dines at a restaurant. When a waiter makes a small mistake, one person immediately becomes irritable, loudly complains, and demands to speak to the manager. In the second scenario, another person at the same table notices the waiter's anxiety and reassures them with a kind smile, saying, "No problem. Take your time." Which of these two individuals would you trust more? These seemingly minor interactions accumulate over time and help shape the foundations of relationships, workplaces, and even public reputations. How someone treats those who can't fight back speaks volumes about their values and emotional intelligence. People who regularly show kindness, patience, and respect demonstrate empathy and confidence. They don't need to assert superiority to feel important. On the other hand, those who belittle service workers, treat subordinates poorly, or dismiss people they consider beneath them often reveal deep insecurity. They seek control over others to compensate for personal struggles. Psychologists suggest that individuals who consistently mistreat those in lower positions may be displaying narcissistic traits, a constant need for validation, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of true empathy. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, offers a mixed example. While some of his employees describe him as an inspiring and deeply invested innovator, others recount stories of him firing workers on the spot for minor mistakes, creating an environment where fear often outweighs motivation. Musk's case shows that while leadership and brilliance can coexist with harsh treatment of others, it inevitably affects public perception and trust. Research also suggests that power can distort how people interact with others. A study by the University of California, Berkeley, found that those in higher social or economic positions are more likely to ignore basic social courtesies, such as saying thank you or waiting their turn. Wealthier individuals were also less likely to help strangers than those from lower income backgrounds. This phenomenon has been observed in boardrooms and political arenas, where the powerful may begin to see others as tools rather than fellow human beings, prioritizing results over relationships. However, there are exceptions. Some of the most powerful figures in history, like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Fred Rogers, maintained strong connections with ordinary people despite their influence. Their compassion for all, regardless of status, reflects a deeper sense of humanity. From a Buddhist perspective, our words and actions not only shape our karma but also the energy we bring into the world. Right speech and right action, two elements of the Eightfold Path, align with the idea that how we treat others reflects our spiritual maturity. Right speech encourages kindness, honesty, and respect toward everyone, regardless of their position. Right action emphasizes compassion toward all beings, not just those who can benefit us. In Buddhism, treating a CEO and a homeless individual with the same respect is not merely an ethical choice, it's a reflection of one's inner growth and spiritual wisdom. A real-life example of this principle can be seen in Barack Obama's approach to leadership. During his presidency, Obama made an effort to remember the names of White House staff, including janitors and cafeteria workers. He greeted them warmly and asked about their families. These small, personal gestures were not made for political gain, they were habits formed from years of valuing every individual, no matter their status. This stands in stark contrast to leaders who walk past their staff without acknowledging them, or treat them as invisible. Such small, consistent actions leave a lasting impact and help shape a leader's legacy. Now, think about your own daily interactions. Do you acknowledge the cashier at the grocery store? Or do you keep your eyes on your phone? Do you express gratitude to service workers like Uber drivers or hotel staff? When someone makes a mistake, do you react with patience or irritation? These small moments define character, showing how we see others, not as tools, but as human beings with inherent dignity. True character is built not in grand gestures of generosity or in speeches about kindness, but in the quiet, unnoticed interactions of daily life. It's seen in the way we say thank you, the tone we use with an overworked employee, and whether we hold the door open for a stranger. Character is tested when no one is watching, and the answers lie in how we treat those who have nothing to offer us in return. Indicator 2, The psychological value of keeping promises. The second crucial way to determine someone's character is by observing whether they keep their promises. In many ways, keeping a promise is not merely about politeness, it reflects integrity, responsibility, and self-discipline. When a person makes a commitment and follows through, they convey a powerful message: you can trust me. My word has value. And I respect you enough to honor what I said. Conversely, when promises are frequently broken, it leads to disappointment and weakens relationships. According to psychological studies, trust is built over time through consistent actions. Those who fail to honor their commitments not only damage their reputation but also lose self-respect. Keeping promises becomes especially important when circumstances change and fulfilling the commitment becomes difficult. Anyone can keep their word when it's convenient. But true character is revealed when sticking to a promise requires extra effort. For instance, imagine a friend who promises to help you move to a new apartment but cancels at the last minute because they received a better offer to go out. Or a colleague who says they will meet a deadline but fails to do so, offering only excuses. In contrast, someone with integrity finds a way to honor their word despite challenges. Even if they can't fulfill the original commitment, they take responsibility and communicate honestly about the situation. This concept aligns with Buddhist teachings, particularly the principle of right intention. According to Buddhism, our actions should reflect our core values, and fulfilling promises is a manifestation of inner harmony. The intention behind keeping our word speaks to the integrity of our character, showing that our actions are not just about personal convenience but also about maintaining alignment with our deeper values. A powerful story from ancient Japan illustrates the importance of keeping promises, even when it's difficult. It tells of a samurai who once promised a village that he would return to protect them if they were ever under threat. Years later, war broke out, and the village sent an urgent plea for help. Although the samurai was old and retired, with no reason to fight, having already won many battles in his youth, he honored his promise and traveled across the country to defend the village. Despite his age, his mere presence was enough to scare the enemies away. His promise wasn't about convenience, it was about honor. And he understood that keeping his word shaped his character. This story teaches us that keeping our promises is not just about fulfilling obligations to others, but also about defining who we are as individuals. It reinforces that integrity is not just a set of actions but a reflection of the values we hold dear. By keeping our word, even when it's hard, we demonstrate that our commitments are not contingent on external circumstances but are expressions of our true character. Now that you know these two indicators, take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Ask yourself, how do they treat those who cannot give them anything in return? Do they honor their commitments, even when it's difficult? These two questions can help you see the true character of the people around you and also serve as a mirror for evaluating your own growth. To cultivate a strong character yourself, start by practicing kindness daily, especially when no one is watching. Be mindful of your words and promises, say only what you truly intend to follow through on. When mistakes happen, take responsibility instead of making excuses. Strive to be the same person in private as you are in public. At the end of the day, character isn't about words or appearances, it's revealed in the smallest, most everyday actions. If you start paying attention to these two powerful indicators, you'll not only gain a deeper understanding of others, but you'll also become a person of profound integrity and trust. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this video insightful. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Peaceful Horizons for more wisdom on self-growth, mindfulness, and Buddhist teachings. See you in the next video.